I have arrived. Is that already?
I was telling you there's
Oh, JMZ is here. I see him in the list. Turn the stream music down just a little bit. It's kind of loud. What's new? What's not new? Everything's new. It's a brand new day. It's a brand new stream. I've got something eating my brain for. I suspected it's been going on for a while, but I pretty much just proved it. Not proved it. My suspicions were confirmed about 10 minutes ago, right before I started the stream. I've noticed that with YouTube Shorts. Okay, I scroll through Shorts all the time. Pretty much every time I'm outside, I go out, grab a cigarette or whatever. I'll sit there and just doom scroll Shorts for looking for something to react to, something to interject some of my level of common sense into. I've noticed I'm getting flooded with the same content over and over again, the same songs, the same kinds of videos. And I'm like, what is happening here? Like, why? Like, I made it a point to listen to a song one time, and now I'm getting just absolutely overrun with this content. The people that are making these popular, trendy videos are uploading the same video to multiple channels. Like, we're talking like hundreds of channels. Like, not, oh, I've got 5 accounts. No, we're talking 100, 150, 215 channels. I've gone through probably 500 shorts today. That's no exaggeration, probably 500. Okay, now I didn't watch them all, obviously. I catch a few seconds. I only need to hear the first couple of beats to a song to know exactly what's coming. And easy 500. That's just it. I want you to be right, JMZ. I do. But you're not. You're not right. I wouldn't doubt if that's playing a part of it, but that's not what it is. It's automation tools. It could be AI funding, powering it, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. It's automation tools. Something is connecting to several hundred channels all at once and using the YouTube OAuth to sustain login, and it is uploading these videos all at the same time. And I know that's a thing because I have, let me just show you this here real quick. I got the wrong program. Hold on. Okay, this is StreamerBot. I use this to, there you are, by the way. Say hi to yourself. I use this for managing all of the actions on the stream, whether it's firing TTS, so it's all in these actions that I've built. Okay. Now this is all mostly Twitch integration, but it does integrate with YouTube as well. I can go to my setting. Nope. Where is it? It's under platforms. Platforms. There you go. YouTube. All of my YouTube stuff. Every broadcast I've had, my account information, okay, all of that. Actually, that's wrong. I need to fix that. Anyway, so it shows you that there is an API to use with YouTube, and it does let you upload videos. And there's nothing that says you can't open multiple sessions to different accounts. That's really just a matter of threading, okay? So these videos are being uploaded hundreds of times at the same time in an attempt to, the fat electrician puts it best. It is literally accuracy by volume, is what it is. They're going to make their money on views because the video will be seen hundreds of times per channel, if not thousands of times or more. And they use catchy songs like currently the thing that's playing most in my in my shorts feed is Next, which is a Spanish song. It's got a good beat. It's a good tune. But it's being just absolutely overplayed, like worse than 90s popular radio overplayed, because it's just being used hundreds of times. Now, I was thinking that maybe it's just a popular sound and stuff, so I really started like paying attention to some of the videos, and they are literally identical videos. They're the same dances, same people, same places, like same, you know, landmarks that might be in the background. It's like, it's clearly an identical video. And if you look at the channel names, all the channel names are different. So we're being flooded with content. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not. I'm absolutely not doing that. I'm not going to try to manage that many YouTube accounts. I'm not. And while I'm more than capable of writing the automation tools required to do that, I'm not going to. That's not what I am. I've always played every game I've ever played by the rules, and as fairly as humanly possible. And there are a lot of good creators out there that don't do that. You know, I was just watching a video from, where is it? That's my stream. From Chris Bowden. It's probably on my front page here. Okay, here's a good guy. That's JD Delay. That's Chris, and then there's Thor, and there's the Fat Electrician, and yeah, I've been watching a lot of speedrun content too, so there's that. These four guys here are probably my four like favorite creators right now. Chris definitely being really, really high on the scale there, because he is very goddamn funny. In my flavor of what a sense of humor is. So anyway, I wouldn't want guys like that to get washed out because they don't keep up with a trend of uploading videos to 100 channels at the same time. I think that's a dog shit way to go about anything. And I don't even know that reporting these channels, because they're not actually violating any of YouTube's terms of service that I'm aware of. Technically, they own all of the channels, and therefore, technically, they also own all of the content, and they have the right to distribute it to other channels. So they're not actually breaking any rules. It's just a really, really shitty way to go about it. And like I said, I suspected that this was going on a couple of months ago. And I've been seeing it more and more, and today just absolutely blew my mind. For the number of times I heard the same song and saw the same videos, I was like, this is horse shit. Like, I don't even know how to compete with that, like, without turning into an absolute scumbag. So, oh, thank you. Are you fixing my green screen?
Trying to, but the air conditioner just keep blowing it.
Now let it go and we see what it does. Oh, I see. Maybe I can tweak the camera just a smidgen. That's the wrong way. There we go. All fixed. All right. Let's do this. Okay. I'm floating. I'm not squarely against the bottom of the screen. There we go. That's better. All right. So what I've been doing about this issue with the shorts, right? If I just go to shorts, let me disable audio. Hold on here. I don't want to get hit with a copyright strike for playing somebody else's music. You see, this is now if it'll load. There we go. APT, which is also very popular. Here's, and this is a green screen kid. You see his stupid ugly face. I go to the dots. Do not recommend channel. Next. This is a commercial I see quite often. Again, this is... I don't even actually know what's happening here. Music, dance, pop music. I don't know what that is. What are we doing? We're doing a dance. I don't want to see this. This is not for me. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. I don't know why that's important for me, but whatever. Here... Not important. Now it's not going to do it, right? Oh, here we go. These are the two people that are doing the dance. This is Jasmine and James. We're going to... Don't recommend... It's the third time I've not recommended them in the last half an hour. That's the same dance, by the way, but it's a different video. Yeah. This is one of them. I've seen this particular model, or weightlifter, or weightlifting, whatever you want to call it, on no less than 50 channels. And I know what that's about. That's actually a promotional thing that the company that makes her back belt is doing. That's not the creator. The person lifting the weight is not the creator there. It's the back belt company. You're a green screen moron. You can go away. I don't know what that is. Don't know. Don't care. That's pretty cool. Again, this song too. Paso Bem Soloto. Solto. My Spanish is a little rough. Tired of singing this song. That's terrifying. I don't know why I'm getting Sonic and Tails content. I have like no interest in any of that. This is most likely about the shirt. I'm not sure yet though. Again, Minecraft movie is huge right now, so that you're gonna see a lot of Steve, or rather Jack Black. Oh, yeah. Another green screen. Same thing. Whenever I see green screen videos, I just do not recommend, because you can barely see his fucking face down there. Just fucking moron. And it's a shame, right? Because the guy that's making these videos is being chased by either a car or a drone. It depends. I've seen both for him. And when people do this, they just steal the content, and it's disgusting. Because they don't add anything to it. There's no commentary. It's not even a reaction. It's just your stupid face in the corner to make the pixels of the video different so that you can claim that it's not piracy. That's fucking piracy. I've seen this guy. Let's see. That's pretty cool. Is that a hydraulic bender? Yep. That's what that is. That's cool. All right, that's pretty dope. Oh, anxiety. Sick and tired of hearing that too. There are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of different YouTube creators. I'm not super concerned with, setting a few to not recommend. What's the matter, hon?
Oh, the guy was painting miniatures.
Oh, yeah, minis. Where'd he go? Yeah, right here. Yep. So this is cool. This is his own. This content isn't for me, but it's his content. And he's just got a thing he does. And I guess that's for some people. It's not for me, but it's for some people, and that's cool. He's got a song playing there, but that's pretty common for shorts. Especially if you're not particularly good at speaking or doing the voiceover thing. Again, this chick, cut. I mean, fucking rip. What an amazing specimen of human being. The video's not about her. Oh, also it's a green screen. The video is, where is it? There's an advertisement in here somewhere.
That one is probably for the gym.
Yeah, it might be for the gym.
Because it's a green screen with the fence rolled up on it.
Yep. So, and again, that oh, nope, they put a little heart over it. That's funny. This guy's cool. There's a video of this bat. Oh, this is the video. He's dancing. Like he's, or is he talking? I can't remember. Oh no, he is talking because there's captions there. He has a short out where he does like a little dance. He's barely hanging on to that freaking that walker. There it is. Where he'll let go and like tries to boogie a little bit. I give this guy a lot of respect. He's trying like a motherfucker just to be as normal as humanly possible. Again, music. This is not about this person. This is about whatever he's attached to.
This is calisthenics in the gym.
Yeah, I couldn't see any like blatant advertisement. It doesn't mean it's not for a particular company.
This is literally just cheerleading.
Yeah, this is fine. Anyway, we'll be done with that. I just kind of wanted to just go over that this is becoming a thing now, where companies are using YouTube to advertise, and we always knew it would happen, right? Like we knew from the time that YouTube was invented that eventually commercials would make their way to YouTube, and they did, in the form of advertisements, which is functionally what commercials are. They just have a different name. Or rather, commercials is short for commercial advertisement. Anyway.
They're called adverts.
Yes, they're called adverts. So we always knew that this would happen, right? That companies would come and advertise on YouTube. I don't think any of us really expected them to start using YouTube like the creators do. And their method of being seen is to just flood the market with as much media as humanly possible. And it's crappy. Like it's really crappy. It doesn't mean that they can't be beat. I mean, there are some of us out there that have been creating content long enough that we've already got a pretty solid base. I'm not one of those people. We've got a pretty good base though. We'll go to my analytic. That's not how you type that. So I go to my studio, and I am just dropping subscribers hardcore, down 13 in the last month. I was at 4,800 even. I think that was my channel high. I've not made it to 5,000 yet. And my buddy Mikey had the same problem. He got right under 5,000 and could not get over it. So it's a little bit suspect that seems to be happening right around the 5,000 mark. I don't know. But I'm still getting subscribers too. Case in point. Oh, I haven't responded to that comment yet. I will have to go through my comments again. I do typically respond to comments. I try to. And my channel is now 2 years old. Yay! Jazz hands. Anyway. Alright, let's get out of that. Alright, let's change the topic to something a little more positive. I did a little work on the toolkit earlier today. This has been eating me since last night. So I can now move the carrot around, which I had that working last night. And if I hold shift, it crashes. That's what happened. What? Oh, this is function I had just added, and I might not have finished adding it. It's right here. All right, so we'll comment that out real quick, because that's obviously not working correctly. For the sake of demonstrating what I did accomplish. can go hold shift. Yeah, it's a little wonky, but I'm still cleaning it up a little bit. It doesn't quite have the positional information. Unless you start at the beginning of the string. But it is highlighting. And if you look at the output here, it's telling you the start position is 0, which is 0 on the string index. Stop is 22. That's 22 characters long, including the spaces. And then the text of what is actually selected is there, which is pretty cool. This also still works. Unfortunately, it does not work correctly if you select in the other direction, I think. Oh no, it does. The problem is if you change direction, it doesn't always work correctly. And it resets when you go from going left to right. You need a little more logic in there to work out exactly what the user is trying to accomplish. And also get the positioning right, because it's a little bit off. That's right here, this particular line of code. I ended up doing exactly what I said I didn't want to do last night, which was iterate over the string to figure out exactly how far from the start you were, which is what all this wonderfulness does. That looks like absolute dog shit. It does. And what this basically does is it finds what character is at a particular index of the string and adds it to this variable. And then when it's all done, I get the width of that character buffer, so I know how far from the start the selection begins. It's not elegant, for sure, but it is fast enough that I was concerned that it would be a little slow constantly running this loop. But it doesn't constantly run it. It only runs this loop when you press the buttons. So, well, that's not true, because this is a render. This is render, so render loops every frame. You know, but it's working pretty quickly. I'm not terribly upset with it. Hey there, FNAF. How you doing? That's a hell of an entrance. There's a 3 there that shouldn't be. Alright, so we're gonna unset this, unset this. I'm gonna figure out why this crashed. Or not, I could add in 60 seconds. Good timing, FNAF. You're always just in time for the ads. Unable to convert string this is to float. Oh, that's right. That's right. I remember that being a thing. That's gotta be here. Okay, this is the first argument. Which this will return a number. This will return a number, and this is a string, as it should be, right? Yeah, draw text takes x, y coordinate, and then the string. So this is correct. But it's saying it's not correct. So yeah. Okay, it's the entire beginning of the string, which means line 166. Okay. It's right here. Oh. I did that because I was concerned with it There it goes.
We've got ads.
All right, it's a little wonk, but it's not accounting for the padding. Okay, that's an easy fix. We got ads, though. Okay, that works really well. That's not great. It's not accounting for the padding, probably. Not. So wonky. Why? Probably because I have to do like inline rendering or something, where I do want a single render pass instead of what I'm doing here. Oh, the ads are over. Good. Yes, FNAF, that does make you a pop-up ad. Congratulations, you've been promoted. So what I do is I draw the box. Then I render the placeholder text or text that's in it. And then I re-render that text, but only the text that's selected. And I'm drawing it on top of it. You can kind of see an artifact of that when I'm highlighting the text, but only when I'm highlighting from right to left, or when I'm highlighting left to right, but I didn't start at the first position. So if I say, okay. Oh no. You see it, things shift by just about a pixel or so. Or not. No, it doesn't actually. That actually works really well. Okay, so right, left to right works. It's right to left that's like wonky as hell. Every time I move, there you can see two S's in the end there. They're double rendering. And now it completely covers it. Something's wrong with the with this line. This isn't working the way it should. And I'm not entirely sure why or what else I can do about it to make that measure correctly. This decides where the box starts being drawn on the x-axis, which is the horizontal axis. Because it's wrong. Oh wait, no, it's not wrong. That's right. Yeah, because the char buffer is the characters that sit between Is that enough? Will that fix it? Is that the problem? No, that actually made it worse. Just out of curiosity, what if I change that to a plus? It's gonna it's gonna do bad things. Yeah. Yeah, because it messes with the measurement I need something a little bit more precise. String charat with string width isn't really helping me correctly. All right, so we come back to that a little bit. Let me go back to handle input because the selected text works, right? Like I know what text is selected, even if it doesn't visually appear to be selected properly, it is. So we go back to handle input. We're going to go here. We're going to say if keyboard check VK control. Okay. So this is check and check press work a little bit differently. Keyboard check just sees if the key is down. Where keyboard check pressed sees if the key is down, and once that fires, it only fires once until you release and repress the key. So I want to see if control is being held, and now we can implement copy, paste, and cut, right? So I can say if keyboard check pressed ORD C. This is copy. If key or why is that mad? Oh, because it needs another parenthesis. Check pressed ORD X. A slight gotcha here. The value you put in ORD has to be capital or it doesn't fucking work right. Okay. Now, copy and paste are actually fairly straightforward. We're going to say clipboard set text selected text. We will denote that with if selected text not equals an empty string. That way we don't let users accidentally overwrite something they already have on the clipboard. Cut we'll get to in a second. Yeah, what's up, hon? Okay. Okay. Ah, children are a never-ending bit of fun. Okay. All right, so paste is a little more involved. We'll say var to paste equals clipboard get text. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to say string insert substring to insert first. Yep. Okay, so that's to paste. Second argument is the string to be copied. What? Oh, that's the actual string. So that's the entire, all the contents of the text field. And then the position to put it at, which we keep track of all the time, with a position variable. And it's mad. Oh, because this returns a string that you have to use. So I can literally just say text equals like that, and like magic, it should work. Let's find out. Okay. So let's select test. We'll Control C. We'll delete everything and press Control V. Hey, look at that, it works. Okay. Now cutting. Same idea. We're going to say if selected text not equal an empty string, we'll proceed with the operation. First thing we need to do is clipboard set text selected text and now we need to remove the selected text. So we're going to string should be string split, I think. No? No. I mean, split could work, but split could fail. String delete. Okay. We want to delete the string to copy and delete from. That's text. The string, the index of the first character to remove. That will be selection. Come on. Negative. Selected. That's selected text start. And then the number of characters to remove, we want to count. So that's not terribly difficult. We can say selected text start minus selected text end. Why is it? Because this also returns a string. Okay. Let's try it out. So if I say delete me, please. Just as the directions say, delete me. Control X. It did not remove it. It removed something else. Let's paste. It copied me, but it didn't do the delete correctly. S A Control X. Oh, okay, no, it is, but it's visually incorrect, so it looked weird. But yeah, no, okay. Yep, that's working perfectly fine. Cool. Oh, when I say it's mad, what happens is my IDE here, or Integrated Development Environment, basically the program that lets me write all the code here. In this particular case, GameMaker, but it doesn't have to be. There's lots of different IDEs. I use Visual Studio and Eclipse for writing Java. Well, actually, I don't use Eclipse anymore. I use the other one. NetBeans. I can't remember what it's called. IDEs will typically tell you when you have an error in your code, like a syntax error, like I forgot a parenthesis or a curly brace or something. It will underline things with like a little curly underline or wavy underline, just to draw my attention to what is potentially a problem. And I can go to these feather messages and it'll tell me what those problems are. Like this one is a warning that the evaluation order of function calls in an argument list is not guaranteed between platforms. And that's because I put the return of a function inside of another function, which GameMaker doesn't really like when you do that. To fix it, we just assign that rpos.write, and then var bottom equals rpos bottom right bottom. So because I did the assignment up here, and the code in GameMaker always runs from top to bottom, I guarantee that these functions have returned a value before this function starts, and it's not as mad about it anymore. The error does stay for a while. GameMaker doesn't usually do this, but it does with my code because my code is really hard for GameMaker to track. There was a lot of references being passed around and a lot of data changing hands all the time. And I think GameMaker loses track of the pointers. And that's okay. If I restart GameMaker, the error will probably go away. Probably. Or not error, this is a warning. Errors are little red X circles with white X's in them. Warnings are the yellow triangle thing. And then it has suggestions for code optimization, which are blue lines. That's when I check if something's null and then assign it. It tells me I can use what's called a nullish operator, which looks absolutely ridiculous. And I did use a few of them in here somewhere. So I can find one real quick. Right here. This is called a nullish coalescence operator, which this stupid double question mark equals is a whole complicated if statement happening on one line. And it basically says, if selected text start is undefined, give it this value. And if it's not undefined, leave it the fuck alone. That's what it says. But if I don't do it this way, it puts curly blue lines through all of my code, and then I have to manually turn them all off. Yeah. Okay. Wow, there's a lot of lines of code in this class. This is 312 lines of code in one class. Now, not all the classes are that big. The event listener is only 87 lines. The icon wheel is 202. The container code is 73. The generic control code is 306. The window manager is only 115. And then the theme is a bit irrelevant, but that's 154. And that's not all of the classes. That's all the classes I currently have open. This is all the classes. Down the side here. Every one of these little script icons. It's a lot. All right. Now, how to fix that highlight bug? It's something between here and here that I have to do differently. And also, I did some cheating in here. Like, I don't check for values having, or variables having value. I just assume they're there in an attempt just to get it working, and I'll work out the null references later. Let's fix you. Sorry. Okay. It's not terribly complicated. I say that, you know, to someone who doesn't write code, and I'm sure it looks massively complicated. The beauty of object-oriented code and the way I'm building this is, again, you know, a product of the fact that I've been programming for years. I didn't even spell paint right in my box, and Windows still opened the right program. That's very funny. Okay, with object-oriented programming, I put a little bit of code in one class, right? This is my control class. Okay. Or specifically AUI control is what it's called. All right. This is my base class that has a lot of core code in it that all the controls are going to use. Okay, like, let's go through that a little bit. Okay. Get position. This is a function that exists in AUI control. It only exists there, but I use it in all of my code. Like get position is actually what I keep calling RPOS. It is the relative positional data of every object on the scene, and it knows where it lives because of this function. And it's not that big of a function. It's only a tiny bit of math. That's it. And the fact that it recursively calls itself, which is a little bit more complicated, and this has the chance to run away and do some really bad things. But it's got a check on it to make sure it doesn't do that. But because AUI control has this, every other class that inherits from it, like AUI container here, which inherits, as that colon means, from AUI control, now has the ability to use all of the functions or methods that are in AUI control. So, this is a bad example because it's a really thick class. My text input that I'm currently working on, at the very top of the render function, RPOS get position. That function doesn't live here, that function lives here. And again, sounds complicated. It's not. AUI control is here. Container. Window. And then from here, we also have hang on. Will you open, please, GameMaker? Jesus. Looks like text input inherits directly from AUI control, so we'll just say TI. Any more? There's probably another one, right? Yeah, icons and AUI labels, these both inherit directly from control. AUI box inherits directly from, no it doesn't, AUI box is special. We'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so, label. So now these three classes all have the same functionality as this, plus they have a few of their own functions that extend them a little bit. Okay, then window has all of the functions the container does, and AUI control, and a few of its own spiciness to make it special. Okay, but all of these inherit from the event listener class, which is how they're all able to use events. But event listener also inherits from my base object class, which contains a single method. I believe a single method. Let me look. Of toString. That's it. That's all it does. And all it does is print itself. This is the base object for everything. There's AUI vector 2, which also inherits from AUI object. This is my vector 2 class that's just builds vectors because GameMaker doesn't have a vector class for some fucking reason. So I hacked one out real quick. And then I have AUI box, which inherits from vector 2 and defines a few more properties like the width and height, and it has a copy function for reasons to prevent breakage. This is actually for RPOS to work correctly. Some properties or some functions to help me out with things, so I can say RPOS.middle and always get the vertically aligned middle of an object without having to constantly put a bunch of math into my function calls. All right, James, you get some sleep, bud. I've seen Scratch before. We actually had a user here in chat a couple of months ago was working on a Scratch game, and he had some runaway problems that would not work. I think Scratch is pretty cool. It's a lot underpowered for what I'm doing, but it's definitely a great learning resource. Like, for sure, it does teach you the fundamentals of assigning variables and loops and conditional statements like if and else. All right, we got ads in 60 seconds. Real quick, I also want to say that GameMaker has a system in place that is very similar to Scratch. It's called GML Visual, okay? And you can basically drag code blocks around the same way that you do with Scratch. If you want to try that, FNAF, GameMaker is free. Go to Steam, download it. I will happily help you with that. Yeah, GameMaker is free. Aseperite is not free, but it can be free. Well, the ads are going to launch in a second. I'll continue that thought after the ads come back.
We've got ads.
All right, we're back. Okay, let me get back into this. Aseprite. Am I saying that right? Aseprite is, I call it Aseprite because that's what you do. You make sprites with it. Is not free to get through Steam. It's not very expensive, but it's not free. You can get Aseprite for free though because it's open source. You can go to their GitHub, you can download it, you can put it into an IDE, and you can compile it yourself, and then you own it. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to just buy it because when you download the source code for something, you're in charge of your own updates now, which means every time they release an update for the program, you have to go get the source code, recompile it, and reinstall it. And it's kind of a pain. So if it's what you have to work with it. That's fine. If not, you could just go to Steam and buy the damn thing. It's not that expensive. What did I buy? That's loud. It's $20. And it is a massively, massively helpful tool. I could not get anything proper working drawing in Photoshop and trying to do pixel art there with a mouse. It was just a miserable nightmare. I got Aseprite. I struggled with a mouse with that for a little bit. And then I had gotten the wife one of these. And comes with a pen or a stylus. I draw on this, and it translates this to mouse moves and clicks on screen. To move the mouse without actually drawing, just hover over the thing, and as long as the stylus is close enough, it'll move the mouse around. Once you touch, that counts as a click. It's pretty smart. It does a bunch of other stuff too, but I don't use most of those functions. I just use the shortcut keys on the keyboard. That works great. Once I got those, I was set. I was 100% set. Most of the art that you've seen me make, I have made with this pad and Aseprite, as well as the art you haven't seen me make. In fact, all of the assets for Rescue right now, I have made by him in Aseprite. So if you're getting into this, it's 100% worth the $20 investment in your own future, if you can swing it. But GameMaker, this is the best. It is free. It is free to use. It is free to build your game and to deploy your game. So long as you're only deploying to, like PC or Steam or the not Pally.gg. What's that called? GX Games. You can deploy there. If you want to deploy to a mobile market or to consoles and whatnot, there is a licensing fee attached to that, and it is pretty high. But you can build your game for PC for free. I have not paid for GameMaker. This is a free version of GameMaker, and if you have Steam and you've used the code that I gave you, you can get a copy of my game right now. It is right there. None of the data will load until I finalize all the publishing stuff. So, but JMZ currently has Rescue installed on his computer. And so does the wife. And that's all for free. So, got baskets. Now, GML Visual does have some limitations. Obviously, it will. Whenever you abstract something and make it easier to use, you take away some of the finer controls over it. That being said, I cannot use GM Visual for what I'm doing. Like, this would never happen. Like, no. But for something simple or something just to learn, absolutely. It's a great tool. Get it, play with it. FNAF, you have a code. I gave you one. If you don't have your code, I can give it to you again. I saved it. That's not great. I could have done with that not opening on my primary monitor. Does that not work? It doesn't work. Yes, okay. Where's Discord? Okay. It's not really an issue. If I ever have a problem with those keys because they display it on my primary monitor, those are developer keys, and I can just delete them. I can literally just void them and reissue keys. Not a big deal. All right, so I sent you a message in Discord, a DM with the key in it again. If you want to redeem that, you just have to go up to games, and it's redeem. No, it's activate a product, I think. You just pop the key in there, and you're good. Now I haven't updated I haven't updated Rescue in a while because I've been working on this toolkit. I believe it's playable in its current state, although it doesn't do much, and there's only like 2 or 3 enemies floating around. But you can play it. Don't go into the options screen because it soft locks you. Funnily enough, that's actually why I'm building this GUI toolkit, was because the options screen, I wanted to put a lot of things in the options screen to let you pick your play style, like your controller style, possibly a difficulty modifier, things like that. I just didn't have any infrastructure for it. I was like, it doesn't make sense to keep rebuilding these tools. So I'm making this AUI toolkit as a separate package that I can import into Rescue and just use. But the side result is I'm going to just release the package for everyone to use because GUI should not be this difficult. All right, back to rendering selected text. think I can do it here. This is the final draw text call when I'm actually rendering the text before the selection is redrawn. I think if I do this a little bit differently, I can inline selected text in a single call. That way I don't have to have all of this other code here. It'll end up in here, most of it. All right, let's do that. Let's try that. We'll just comment this out because I'm going to keep this code because it mostly works. We're going to comment out this. Okay. All right, so the first thing is knowing where to start. Well, I actually know where to start. I have a variable for that. Wait a minute. Before I get... Hang on. I had an idea. Or a thought. GML string width. I wonder if string width is returning 0 for spaces. No. Or maybe because I would assume that name here in this particular example wouldn't have a space in it. All right, string with ext is actually for multi-line statements, but separator. Distance in pixels between lines of text as if the string is being drawn. And what, -1 because I want this to be infinite. Let's see what it does. Like, the worst it can do is break at this point, right? Yeah, that's still wonky as hell. Like, this way it works great. That did not work great. All right. back to the original idea. So you're gonna get yourself a copy of Game Maker now? All right, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna say 4. Var I equals 0. I less than string length text I plus plus. Okay. Now we're going to say if I is greater than or equal to selected text start. I know that the text in here is selected. Oh wait. And I is less than or equal to. I'm not sure what the equal to. Selected text end. I have RPOS already. Yeah, I'm in render, so I definitely have it. All right. This is gonna feel really bad to write, but let's see what we get. Var char width equals string width string char at the string and the index. So the string will be text, and the index is actually I. And what this is going to do is draw each character of the string one at a time for every loop iteration. This is big brain stuff here, but also I feel really dirty about this because it's a big for loop to draw text in the string. Like, I don't feel like it should be this complicated. I don't generally like loops in the middle of processing unless you can't avoid them. Loops tend to tie up the processor, especially if they're big. If you ever had a web page take fucking forever to load, it's probably because of a big loop running. All right. Now I know each character width in pixels. So now I should say var start x equals rpos.x always plus the padding plus the char width Nope. Up here, I need var rendered text. Var existing pad equals string width rendered text plus existing pad. That really only needs one D. There's no reason to make that a double D. Okay. Alright, so that's my spacing out. Now I have to draw the sprite or draw the font. So I draw text. The X position is start X. The Y position, which I'm going to get down here, is just this. Okay. Then the text to draw is string char at text. I don't want to know why that happened. And then again, I. This is dumb. Hold on. We're going to assign that to a variable because I use it more than once. If you use it more than once, it should be its own variable. Okay. And now I have to, one more time, I want to say rendered text equals string concat rendered text and char, which will effectively append the letter I just wrote to the end of the variable rendered text. So the next time the loop iterates, I can use that to figure out what my new padding is, because I have to keep moving the goalpost forward as I'm writing letters on the screen. And this is still wrong. It's wrong because I wrote the letters on the screen and not the background. All right, so right here, draw, rect. Oh wait, we have to set our color. Draw, set, color. We'll do blue. Draw, rectangle. Okay, and this position should be. Honestly, it should also be start X. And then it should be RPOS Y plus skin padding top now the rectangle width should be the character width. I have that right here at char width, but this isn't a width. This is a second X position. So I need start X plus char width, and now I need a new Y position for the where the box ends, which is the bottom right hand corner of the letter. So we're going to just look for the bottom. I will say, for now, RPOS bottom minus skin padding bottom. And then we're going to say false because the last argument of draw rectangle is asking if you want it to just be an outline or a filled in box. And I want it to be a filled in box. So it's not outlined, we say false. And then we'll reset our color to the skin text color. And that's just for selected text. Else, we will say draw text pretty much this all over again. But start X was defined outside of this context, so we'll move this out here. As long as it's inside the loop, it's fine. Okay. So these are in scope. Let's see how that works. I probably missed a whole bunch of shit. Throw all kinds of errors, but we'll see. Yeah, I didn't even load the padding or the placeholder text. Cool. Existing pad not set for reading it. Where?
We've got ads.
All right, we'll wait for the ads. All right, I'm back. All right. Draw the text, character. Oh no, and then I have to add. Probably don't have to, but I should add the character to the render text thing. The render text thing is really just for the for this to draw the rectangle, but no, it's not. It's for the offset of where to draw the sprite. So no, I do need that. Okay. Not the sprite, draw the letter. Okay, gotta. Oh, OBS stuff. Whatever. Yeah, it's a hot mess. That looks fucking terrible. Alright. T. H, gonna put another T. I, and then put the H. Okay. We're having an issue with the loop. Let's do that. Nope. That wasn't the problem. Can I do for var equals -1? I mean, I feel like this is going to have exactly the same effect, but let's see. Oh, neat. It put it twice. Cool. That's gross looking. That shouldn't matter, but it might. It does in some compilers. Well, there's all the highlight squares. Cool. That kind of works. Carrot's all fucked up, but... Okay, this isn't working correctly. Or it is, but it's returning a weird value, or I'm doing math wrong. More likely that last thing. Huh. Well, that's, first of all, really disheartening. The problem is that all characters, when you make them, when you draw them on screen, actually have a different width. A T is considerably larger in width, anyway, than like an I, or a lowercase I, or a lowercase j. And string width is supposed to return that whatever it is in pixels. And I assume that it's using draw set font is skin font. I assume that it's using the font, but I actually set that here too. So this should be moot, but let's give it a go. so if we step through the loop, initialize render text. Set the font. Set this to 0. And loop until the end of the string. We set char to the width of the character that we are currently iterating on. Wait a minute. It is possible that I am thinking of positions differently than string char at does. So let's try that. That's a hot mess. String width is returning inconsistent and incorrect values. That E is inside of the M. I'll bet you if I wasn't using Arial as my font, if I was using a monospace font like System, it would probably not have this issue. Let's find out. Let's find our text input function. This is render. Okay, visible keyboard. Okay, perfect. I want to say show debug message string width. No, actually, you know what? I'm going to use AUI log. The reason for that is because I can format the text. Character %s width %f. And now the character is whatever input is, and the width is string width input. Make sure locking is on. It is. Let's run it. So now every time I press a letter, S has a width of 8. Capital M has a width of 13. 12. 0. Okay. Where's the render code? What I'm not giving is for padding to exist between the letters so that you can actually read them. So we're going to every iteration char with string with char, and then we're going to say plus. Let's give it 3 pixels, just as a baseline to say. I don't want to put any debug messages in the render loop because it'll run every frame. Space is a width of 4. That's not right. Okay. Or is it? I mean, it could be. You know, I don't want to do this here. All right. Now what we're going to do is take a screenshot of this. This is not 12 point. Now it is. There. No. Two, three, four, 5. It's not 5 because the characters have their own individual spacing. That's 4. That's 6. Huh. I want to say 4 might be accurate because this is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I know for a fact because of the size of the A, it would be pinned right to the edge. And you can see that this gray spot is actually part of the A, not part of the R. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Spaces are 4 pixels. 6 on the other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 wide, right? I believe that's accurate to what this says. Yeah, character T is 10 wide. H is 9 wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for the kerf, as it were. I is only 4 wide. Which 1, 2, 3. No, the I is not 3, 4 wide. It's 3 wide. Hmm. The S is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 8, maybe 9. The S is coming up as 8 wide. Okay, so for sure the I is wrong. That's only 3 pixels wide. Of course, again, I don't know a ton about fonts, and I know that kerfing is a thing where kerfing is a thing that was invented during type when things were still pressed. What press operators would do is they would take their metal letter plates and they would cut them to fit more closely against each other for letters that looked awkward when they were monospaced. Like this I is a very small letter, right? So if you had a great big block I and then a W next to it, it might look gappy. It'll look like there's a space there that isn't when it's printed. So they would kerf them. This is especially true of like this A, and if this A had a V next to it, the edge of the A is here, and then the edge of the V would be the very next pixel over, and that V probably would start till here, and that would look very, very weird. So if I actually take this and actually let me go right back into Docs. Do I still have Docs open? I don't. So if we go down here and I type an A and a V, you can see visually that the V and the I, or the A, kind of overlap, I want to say. Maybe not. Maybe they don't. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's find out. I can't see it well enough. Can I paste that? That's not what I wanted to do. I need this. Why does it let me draw on it? I didn't know you could do that. Oh, snip and sketch. I guess that makes sense. All right, is there a select tool? It's usually M for marquee. No? Copy. No? There we go. If I zoom all the way in on this. Yeah, there it is. Let me just get a little bit of blue here. If I draw a line from here, which is the end of the A, it cuts right through the V. The edge of the V is here. So they overlap by exactly 1 pencil. And this is part of how the font works, right? Curves are set up in the font file. So, don't save. So this doesn't work, but it should, right? Because, let me close some stuff. We got all kinds of extra shit open. Because the way I'm printing the letters with this, Jesus, I can scroll down to it, with this loop, is that I get the oh oh I know the problem.
We've got ads.
We get ads. That's a problem. This is wrong. All right, we're back. It was a quick ad break. Okay, I figured it out, I think. I need another counter, so we're gonna say var render distance equals 0. Okay. And instead of this, we're just gonna do that. We're gonna say render distance plus equals char width now where do I use I use render text I don't think I need render text anymore. Like, I don't think I need this variable at all. I incremented here, but I only really used it to figure out the padding, so I don't think I need that. We're gonna do that, and do that. Doesn't throw any errors, so let's see what this does. Probably nothing, because I didn't use char render distance anywhere. I'll use existing add, which is this. Okay, I did use it. I used it right here. All right, so now the new x has to be, instead of existing add, it has to be render distance. That's a double underscore. That's not the variable it's called. Let's see. That looks like hot dog shit. Okay. Why? I'm drawing each letter at a calculated point here. That width of that calculated letter, or that loop through letter, is applied to render distance. I don't know at this point. It's, honestly, the solution I had before worked better. Still not perfect, but it looked better. And the worst part is I can't even use the debugger to walk through it because it's in render code. It fires every frame regardless of input. And I can't input something into the field while it's constantly looping on a breakpoint. Like, I can't manage both at the same time. Not without like lightning fast reflexes. So I don't know what's counting up to 18 every time I type something. Because it's loading my right here. Ah, do you see that? When I push T, and then, oh, okay, no, it didn't move. It just looked like it moved. Why is its position so far out? Because I'm appending too early? No? Yes. I'm doing the appending here, but then drawing here using this variable. So I need to render this to set zeros, cut this from here. Sometimes order of operations is really important, and now is not an exception. We're going to put this after the loop, or after the if statement. This way, no matter which of these runs, it'll dump out, catch this, and then rerun the loop. That'll fix that initial problem. It's not going to fix all of it, though. Okay. Am I still printing character widths? Good. Because it looks like O has like no width at all. There's a width of 9. Oh, I see. O has a width of 9, according to my log. But it put the T like inside of it, despite the fact that T has a width of 4. Which makes me feel like it's not. I'm gonna really regret this, but I'm gonna have to log on the render with. That's so weird. Okay. I know I'm not really using these variables anymore, but I'm going to use them for comparison. They are the same width. Which means I don't know what the fuck that means. Hang on. That shit didn't work, but okay. Apparently backspace is the beginning of the line, acts like delete. Huh. First of all, there's extra spaces at the beginning of the line that I can backspace, and it deletes the second character. Alright, there's major issues with this implementation. It's obviously not working. Anyway, that's why we comment out code we're not really sure about yet. So while it looks wonky, it is correct, kind of. I think I need to add a little bit when I'm selecting to the... No, I need to add a little bit at this period. So I want to add to the second X, which is this index. I want to set index to string width, because we proved that that is correct. This does return the correct amount. Plus string width of the string char at selected text end. Why are you mad? Oh. Okay. Now it's just a matter of the caret being placed correctly. That's so weird. Can you move the caret left? No, it sits right in the middle of that S, right in the middle of the H. Right, a few small bugs there. It's a little wonky, but alright. One more thing. If keyboard check pressed board A text start equals 0, selected text end equals string length, not width, length of text, which will effectively set it at the end of the string because that's select all. Oh, it's beautiful. It did it bad. It did it real bad. Okay. Oh wait, no. If selected text is not, then this won't matter. But that's weird. Oh, you know what? That's why. I forgot I have an internal function to update selected text values, so there we go. Alright, select all works.
We've got ads.
Ads. Yay. Pay me, Bezos.